meant that. I don't know what they're going to do about my mouth, but just check out the show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's more of the same right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I love it. It's awesome. It's all mine. Gets me going every day.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd
on.
you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
What does hustle hard mean to you? What does that signify in your life?
That's a lifestyle for me. You know what I mean? Like, true story. I was born into a family and a community of hustlers. Now, let's get focused right quick, because when people hear the word hustler, they confuse it with con artist or something negative. So they like to call people entrepreneurs, right? But the definition in there.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Let's go. Hey, welcome back to Shots and Shenanigans with your host, True Indeed, and Femi the Drifish.
Are you both people?
Am I what?
Are you both?
With
you
your
both
host.
people? Yeah.
Your host. I didn't say I was I said with your host.
I just checking.
What do you mean you just check? I said with your host.
Was there an S there?
With your host. Not host. Let me plug something really quickly before we move any further. What is this? Authors and Empowerment Expo, 7th Annual African American Authors and Empowerment Expo will be happening this Saturday, October 15th at Morgan State University from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're going to have book signings, speaking panels, workshops,
otherwise known as panels,
financial empowerment, health and wellness, entertainment, family fun, prizes, youth writers challenge. It's a free event, so definitely if you're into writing, reading, hearing writings and readings, being a part of writings and readings, definitely Morgan State University is where you want to be. October 15th is the 7th Annual African American Authors and Empowerment Expo. From my understanding, Prodigy from Mobb Deep has a cookbook. Am I correct?
Prodigy.
Yeah, Mobb Deep.
Yeah, cookbook.
Yeah, I mean...
What did I say? Say something wrong?
Nah,
Prodigy from Mobb Deep supposed to be there with his cookbook.
Shook Ones.
Is that a cookbook?
Exactly.
It's called Shook Ones.
Yeah.
You got a cookbook.
It's all about shaking.
You got a cookbook called Shook Ones. Now I'm playing. I don't know names, but somebody pull that up, please. Also, from my understanding, Freeway's supposed to be there. What is Freeway doing there?
Is he cooking too?
I don't know. Is he going to cook?
It's not the right
he needs to definitely put a net on that beard. I'm going to tell you that much. He's got that big old beard.
Leave the beard life alone, man. Just because
what?
Just because.
First of all, this is like 2 years worth of growth right now.
Right. You lying. That's like
glorious.
3 years. That's
2 years. I'm lying. I started growing it like in June of last year. So it's
a couple.
Well over a year.
It's a couple.
It's well over a year.
Couple.
I said it's been a couple months.
Okay.
What's going on? This is BeExposed. We're on BeExposedRadio.com. Definitely check us out there. You can call in live right now, 410-702-5675, or text 443-642-9403, or email info@BeExposedRadio.com.
Yeah,
we like
join
to
the
hear from you.
conversation.
Join in the conversation.
Let us know what's going on. I got a bone to pick though right now, real quick with you.
Okay, I'm all bones.
I sat in that chair and I sit in this chair, and I'm convinced that this was a plot
by you to finally be taller than me.
That's what it is.
Because I can't lift this chair for anything. And I'm looking like, when did Femi get so tall? Like,
it's okay. I've been telling you I've been growing.
Really?
Yeah, man. That 6'4" life. As a matter of fact, 6'4.5" life, probably 6'5" right now.
Probably?
It's probably. Did you know on the moon that you actually, like, once you leave the planet Earth, that your spine extends and you become slightly taller, like a ½ inch to an inch taller? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
I met an astronaut like 2 years ago. He told me, he told me. And
was he happy that he had gotten taller on the moon?
Well, he had shrunk by the time he told us because
he wasn't happy.
But what he was saying, I think he was
had a Napoleonic complex.
I think he was 6'2". He was 6'2", and he was like, "How tall are you?" And I was like, "I'm 6'4.5", because I would have to put the half in and let them know where I'm from. And he was like, "In space, I'd be your height."
What, could he dunk in the moon or something? I mean,
that's what you say. He just asked you so he could say that. He was just like so he could tell you I'm an astronaut.
And that's really so. And then we continue to. Then we're like, wow, why do you know that? I'm an astronaut.
He set you up.
He set you up.
He set you up. He took the bait.
Yeah. Because I mean, how often you get to walk the planet, knowing that you've been in space? How do you start a conversation to let people know that, yo, I was in space?
Maybe not start the conversation to let people know you was in space. I mean, it just comes up, right? Like, what do?
You want to be humble about it. You want someone to ask you.
Maybe you have a tattoo.
Unless you
maybe you walk around with your helmet on all the time.
You have a Space Jam tattoo on your forehead.
Now you be the idiot. Oh, we're about to take another break.
Free stuff for you just for listening to this station. Yo, we got your attention? Here's how it works. You click on the radio loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for cool stuff in the radio loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple. Free stuff just for doing what you already do. Radio loyalty. Click the banner to join now.
You're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Well, hey, what's up? Welcome to Talk Lately. We're here live. We've coming out of the break, the hiatus of the Talk Lately show. We have a new guest, co-host, Mr. Anthony Shaw.
Hey,
how you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing well. I'm a little nervous.
I mean, you like to talk.
Yeah, I like to run my mouth a lot, so I shouldn't be that nervous.
So, Anthony's going to be co-hosting the show. We're just doing a test run today to see how he sweats, see how it works out. So, we have some hot topics that we want to get off our chest. So, when you ready?
I guess I'm born ready. But since I'm used to
So, let people know who you are first.
Well, I'm born and raised in B-More, native. Helping my boy out, my brother, Nate.
Oh, that's so nice.
Always good to help family out. But, just talking about some stuff that's on my mind and, news topics, political things. I guess the first thing I want to kind of touch base on is, about the young black doctor on the Delta airline.
Oh, yeah.
Female doctors and stuff. And basically she was... it was emergency on a plane at Delta Airline. Stewardess flight attendant asked her were there any doctors or medical personnel. She notified them that she was medical personnel, but I guess she didn't have her credentials. But I'm not sure exactly what doctors are supposed to show you or have on them.
Right. Well, she didn't look like, I think the overall, so she didn't look like a doctor to the flight attendant.
Yeah.
He didn't see her as...
What was a female flight attendant?
Oh, I thought it was a guy, but they didn't see her as a doctor, and she took that as he was looking at her color, and the fact that she was a woman, and totally dismissing her as a. And I think he said the guy came up right after him, just an older guy, And he took his word. Yeah, she took
was
it.
A doctor,
right?
But they said the protocol on the airline is if you don't have, I guess, whatever credentials that you can show as a doctor. So I'm not quite sure what that is. Like I don't know if they have like a card or something that they display.
Right.
If you're out, just.
But she said he didn't show any credentials.
No.
He just walked up.
The lady asked him, and she just took his, I guess, older white guy. She just took his word that he was a doctor.
Right.
And this typically happens to especially black people and especially black women. I know during the Bernie Sanders campaign, it was one event coordinator, and she was trying to get into one of the place they were holding an event, and basically security said she couldn't come in. So she had to call someone to come down to verify that, to let them know. Even though plenty of white people, men and women, had walked in, didn't show any passes, didn't show any credentials to get into the event. But for her, who was in charge of the whole event, she gets discriminated because she's a young black woman.
It happens a lot. I'm not going to say it's happened to me a whole lot, but I've had that experience in going to some events. Now that Baltimore has exploded in the art scene, there's a lot of workshops and seminars and symposiums, and I don't know how many times I've had to explain who I am and why I'm there, and going as far as having to go to my phone and show the email that invited me. And it's just the assumption that you don't belong, and I've experienced that quite a few times, and it does piss you off a little bit. And I'm quite sure, as hard as she's worked to get to where she is, for somebody to just
dismiss her
off just your face value, tell you you're not something based on what you look like or anything like that. And that's what I contributed to, because if the guy was able to just walk up and help out, I think and then as the story went on, it tells how they would then go back and ask her questions.
Yeah, they were asking her several questions, but that's what the Delta Airlines was saying. That was their typical protocol,
right?
When they're finding with someone, if there's a medical emergency on one of the flight, or and doing any of the travel, they ask the person if they don't have, I'm still not sure what credentials you would actually show, those series of questions like where you had your residency. But even in that token, it's like, how do you verify it? Because somebody can tell you, I went to Johns Hopkins, I went to this medical school for this year's, I'm a resident, so forth. There's no way for you to verify that in that emergency right then and there in the first place. So someone can lie. I remember a story about a young guy posing as, I guess, a pseudo physician.
Oh, the young man.
Yeah, young man, and basically he was fleecing people, and he was doing like OBGYN work. So
we're going to take a break. We'll be right back here on the Talk Lately show with guest host Mr. Anthony Shaw after this break. Stay tuned.
Check out this flashback from It Is What It Is radio show.
Party he was chilling, he was doing his thing. Y'all, you feel me? Love y'all family, you know what I'm saying? And like, for her to be taken away from you, snatched away from you just like that, you feel me? It's like damn, another good one gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you taking the good? You know what I'm saying?
You always end up asking like, why?
And like again, it's a lesson that it's a test of faith. You feel me? Gonna take you through these tests. You feel me? You're gonna go through these little phases in life, yo. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you just gotta recognize that one, it's the adversary trying to knock you off your pivot, and then it's God trying to teach you something. You feel me? Right. Anything that you go through, you gonna get through. It's called going through. You feel me? That's why it's called going through. You going through something. Right. You feel me? Because after you go through it, you get through it. You look back on it like, damn, I got that. You feel what I'm saying?
For this and more, be sure to tune into BeExposedRadio.com every Friday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. to listen to more of It Is What It Is radio show.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this. And this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and Discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
This forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. Artist Exchange Live. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. Starts now.
Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Today I'm going to try to stay on topic. Yesterday we got...
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Talk Lately show with guest co-host, Anthony Shaw. Hey,
what's going on, man? Welcome back.
So we got some more stories.
Yeah, we got a few more things to touch on. I guess we can hit it out the park. We'll get this out the way with this madman running for president of the United States of America.
Oh, wow.
Our favorite troll of the year.
Not troll.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like he's just a personification of internet people, commenters on the internet. Donald Trump. And
who are you voting for?
Oh, well, I don't like the phrase the lesser of two evils, because even though I'm not thrilled about Hillary Clinton, I wouldn't consider her to be as repugnant or hateful as Donald Trump. So that's who I'll be voting for.
I was watching something online the other day, and they were talking about how good of a businessman he would be for this country, but they were also trying to defend his character and who he has been and how he has said everything about every population of people in this country and isolated individuals. And now they are claiming, because of how Hillary is supposedly running her campaign, there's something wrong with. He's playing up on the "I don't trust her" angle of who she is with the emails, but how she is stealing this election. Not on the fact that he has not shown himself to be diplomatic in his presence and his demeanor and his professionalism, but this off the strength that she is just stealing the election. So none of that matters to his camp.
Yeah, I feel like this is a backlash against President Obama and her in a way. Is the racism that white Americans feel. That's, I think, he's stoking the idea of white fear. Like all these other people are other black people,
right. Like
Muslims,
we're not gonna get a black
Mexicans,
man and a woman in the same 16
now
years.
as a woman, and it's certain way people view her. I don't think they would view her in the same way if she was a man. And a lot of the things they put on her is basically from Bill Clinton, not from always on her own actions.
But it's still stuff that they're making up. I had a young man on my show Friday, and he was bringing up a lot of the allegations on the Whitewater scandal, how they allegedly killed somebody. Like,
it was a movie about
any
that.
type of propaganda that you can put out there is being put out there against her. And the same thing happened to Obama. Like, the difference is they had no dirt on him. So he did not do anything. So they had to pick at people that were surrounding him.
Well, I feel like Hillary is a Teflon Don, because scandal after scandal after scandal, Clinton, her and Bill feel like they just get, either is no evidence or they find a way to skate around it or somehow. So at this point, like, she's been through the fire, she's been tested, and she's been able to maintain her composure.
They're accusing her of being too political. She's too much of a politician. So if she wasn't enough, then it would be something. But she's too much of a politician.
But that's absurd, because people always say, like, oh, we want these outsiders, we don't want these people who have been into politics. But in the same token, it's like, that person is running to be a politician.
Right.
It doesn't make sense for you to be saying, like, oh, I'm an outsider, but you're still going to have to work with these people who have been in this game for years.
As a citizen, you can't get certain jobs if your credit report looks a certain way.
Well, he won't release his information, so we don't know what it looks like.
That's regardless of the fact, because the information is still out there.
Yeah.
But the fact that he can still run for an office that requires the highest office in this country. The fact that he can still run, and he has had several bankruptcies, and I'm not saying bankruptcies are indicative of you not being a good person or you don't know how to manage things, because that teaches you how to.
But that does tell you that he's not a good businessman, because all of those things are multiple.
Just having money to mess up doesn't make you a good businessman. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, if I had $1 million, I'm quite sure I could do a lot of good and bad with it and still have money left over to start over if I needed to.
But one of those businesses was casinos, where there's usually the house always wins and raking money after money.
But if nobody's coming...
Oh, no, they were coming. He was just losing money, which makes no sense in the casino industry.
Somebody was stealing. It makes a lot of sense. He was stealing.
Since if you're not going to release your tax returns, if you don't know how much he actually lost, you don't know if he's actually audited, because the IRS can't say if a person.
And we don't know if he was really losing money hand over fist that way. Like, people can say anything, and I've learned that and being in these types of businesses, like, people will say anything to get themselves to the next level. And that's what he who loses $1 billion and he still has the company.
Yep.
He still has a like the allegations against him, and he bought a couple different paintings of himself between him and his wife doing fundraisers. Like, the old foundation actually purchased these things.
Oh, which wife?
Well, the last wife.
The current wife.
The current wife.
Oh, okay.
I say that because we don't never know. Because if she don't do what she's supposed, if he doesn't win, I'm quite sure he's going to get a divorce. I just got a feeling.
I just hope she got a good lawyer and got some.
She doesn't. It doesn't matter. She's going to get the same thing the last two wives got.
Oh, please, you probably get less than that
Yeah.
at this point,
Right.
which is unfortunate because I feel like if you had this. You know, if you're going to be a trophy wife, you should at least come out ahead of the game.
Well, she probably got dirt on him, so he can only.
It doesn't really matter
because
all the dirt they're releasing now, it doesn't seem to fade.
Well, this is a different level though because this is presidential dirt. Like you are putting yourself like she could possibly put him throw him under the table.
Well, what more can he from the things he's already done? Like he's basically made comments about his daughters of how. If he wasn't their father, how sexually attracted, or he would try to go after them, or other young women. Like it was like a young girl. So he said, like, well, in 10 years, I'll be old enough to date or marry her. Like, basically, you're saying you're a sexual predator, and even though you're trying to lay those claims against Hillary Clinton based on Bill Clinton, you have the same type of sort of history, so you have no leg to stand on.
Well, it's crazy that people are harping on that issue, and I do take sexual aggressiveness seriously.
Well,
but he hasn't assaulted anybody. Allegedly, he's assaulted people, but it still hasn't been proven. So, in saying that, you still can't. The fact that we are saying because of his personality he can't be president, not the fact of his financial track record, his profession, none of that matters to people. But the fact that he said something about somebody's pussy is that's the nail in the coffin. No more.
It's not the nail in the coffin for me. I wasn't even I didn't show as far as like the Republican, nomination. It was a shit show. Yeah. They all came in here. They did the same thing when President Obama was running. They had this clown circus of all these different candidates come out, and they just imploded upon themselves. And they did the same thing, and this led for Donald Trump to become their nominee. Instead of them putting their best foot forward, which they really don't have any great candidates on that side to begin with, in my personal opinion. But that's what you have. So he's been able to make inroads and then say the most vile, racist, bigoted statements alone before this.
But people, I would say people really feel that way. And I'm not going to say her name anymore, but I know personally of white people who feel the way he does. Oh, yeah. Like this one lady that I talked to, the way he feels about like the way he is depicted, the black community or the Hispanic community, there are people who already feel that way. So he's not saying anything new. No. Or is there a lot of, not just white, but a majority of white people who feel that way already? Yeah. And a lot of them are lower middle class, and then the upper middle class, and then the upper class, that 1% of people that already feel the way he feel, that feel that the city, the inner city, the urban city is draining the country's resources. We are the reason why the healthcare system is all it's a lot of things that we already as the urban city members get blamed for. But now it's somebody who has power that is saying those things. Republicans have been thinking these things and having backdoor meetings.
Well, they usually use dog whistle tactics. They say it without saying it. With he's just completely unfiltered. And I understand, is it basically playing on white fear? And they have this idea that they feel like they're entitled to a certain status or type of living, but just simply because they're white. But you feel like every other group are taken from unethical workers who have said things about this, as far as Obamacare or about welfare. But in the same tokens, there are people who are on government assistance and different things who, on the conservative side, say they want all of these programs and different things taken away, but they're the same ones who are still on some type of government assistance.
Well, because in my opinion, nobody wants to be on government assistance. That's not, I don't think, a dream for anybody. But what happens is so if you're on social service and you receive any type of food stamps or medical assistance or whatever, what have you. The moment you make any type of money, that then gets deducted. So now we have organizations and companies that are hiring individuals for part-time contractual employment, and they don't have to, because of the loophole, they don't have to apply health insurance to your benefits or give you benefits at all. And
like
now people aren't even making 40 hours a week. They making 37,
Or
36, or 32. So that's now considered the full-time range, which is really part-time.
Well, it's like 35 and above would be full-time. Anything less is part-time.
But now companies, what they're doing on a weekly basis, now you can only make but so much. But the workload hasn't changed. The workload has stayed the same, and the benefits have diminished. I remember working at Popeyes, and I had full benefits at like 17. But now you can't do that, because now those same companies are saying, nope, you have to have insurance coming into the company now. Like that's a loophole. So a lot of these organizations are now finding loopholes to keep people from being able to have benefits. So now if I work, I don't get the necessary benefits that I need.
Yeah, because you can't make the hours.
Right, because I can't make the hours, but I need this job. So I'm going to either sacrifice my health insurance, I'm going to sacrifice making a decent wage. So I think I'm going to stay over here because I get full benefits, health insurance, staying on social service. So there's no need for me. And they keep talking about all these people that have left the workforce. Nobody's left. They can't afford to stay in it. Because you work in less than 35 hours, and with transportation, food, and shelter, you already in the red. So you're not even thinking about health insurance, life insurance, none of those things that are necessary. You can't do it, and don't have a pre-existing condition, because then you really screwed. So I have to now stay on this small restricted benefit, because if I do anything more than that, I don't get this entitlement here.
Well, it's not even an entitlement. It's basically.
But we all entitled to social service, those
Like
social living. Yeah, we pay into it.
But there's a lot of people don't see it in that same light. But it's the same thing you said as far as Popeyes. The same thing is true for McDonald's, which serves over billions. They always say we serve billions.
Most of the businesses that aren't small business.
We make all this money, but you're not putting it back into your workers and helping them out. And they say basically, even in McDonald's, they basically say, like, in order to supplement your income, either get a second job or apply for welfare.
It's very few jobs that are like a Walmart. And even with Walmart, they'll do Sam Share and all that, but they still restrict the amount of hours you make. So how much money am I really putting into this Sam Share? And I'm not really bringing home anything. The bottom line of what I'm bringing home is so people begin to cheat the system.
Yeah.
Because I got to claim 30 people for half the year, and then I go back to in order, and not say I've done anything like that before. But you have to learn how to cheat the system in order to
stay ahead,
stay afloat. Not even ahead now. You gotta, and it's like me being an artist, it is terrifying. If I didn't know how to pray, I would be somewhere smoking a pipe or something, because it would be crazy of me to go out into a workforce that's not set up to be a workforce, and then think that I can be able to sustain myself. Like, that's crazy. But I noticed, and I felt this happening because I was in that customer service field, and I watched the hours shrink based on what people were saying. These big people up in Washington making decisions for people who they don't know, who they don't understand, who they're not walking in those shoes. And what Trump has done, and what he said, he's taking advantage of those loopholes that he's now saying that he's going to eliminate.
Which is a blatant lie.
It's a lie. Like,
you have no self-interest.
So you will bring all your companies back to the United States? BS.
Like, honestly, you could have been done that. The only thing is they're concerned about making profits. And I'm concerned about the American worker, which is, I don't understand how people fall for this. It's like you're voting against your own interests. These people going to say, they're going to tell you whatever they want to do in order to get your vote, and then do the same thing. This is Congress' fault. It's the previous administration's fault, and not take accountability for their own actions.
But people don't see it that way. One, because this two-party system has taken over government. Like, there's no other options, which there are, but we don't see them in the limelight of it. But people don't understand. Like, we're moving backwards. And even thinking about it, and even him being a possibility, we're crazy. Because if he's even a possibility,
we're a laughingstock against the rest of the world.
we are. They're laughing at us
because it's like it's worse than the Brexit thing. Like, even though they backpedaled on that and it was based upon ignorance and xenophobia, their own, people coming to their country, but we're doing the same thing. It was like, even though we're like, we can say we didn't nominate. I'm not a Republican. I didn't.
When they let Arnold Schwarzenegger become the governor of California, I already knew anything is possible in this country.
Well, Reagan was an actor before he became president too, and before he became governor anyway, and he was a shitty president too in the administration. So
I wasn't around on that time.
No, we were kids then, but I'm just saying we couldn't vote or have any say into it. But it just shows you, like, not everything translates. You might be a great actor, which I guess is good for a politician in a way.
It just burns me up just to even think that you could, just the propaganda. I'm just going to put it out there. We as black people are stupid because we believe stuff just because it's written somewhere or it's a headline or not with even doing any research on anything.
Well, I wouldn't say black people. I would say
I can't speak for any other race.
I'm saying because we're not voting for him. We're not pinning him in power.
I don't know.
But
even in not voting for him, you're not going to vote or you're going to cast your vote on somebody else.
Hillary Clinton or.
So we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back on the Talk Lately show with guest host Mr. Anthony Shaw when we return from this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew.
Wait, Mom, what?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Okay, so just type the job website address here. That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician.
This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit search and...
In the past, Peter's gotten work through people he knew, but he heard there were more jobs online.
There we go.
These are all for me?
Uh-huh.
Really?
He had no idea just how many.
I can't believe it. This one looks good.
Peter is thinking the internet might be for him after all.
And this is just one website.
Wow. Why didn't I do this sooner?
See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Talk Lately. We have a guest co-host with us today. Mr. Anthony Shaw is joining us, and we're doing hot topics as we always do on the Talk Lately show. Monty is on a hiatus, and he'll be back shortly, like in 2017. So Monty hasn't gone anywhere. He's just on a brief hiatus. And in this place, we have Mr. Anthony Shaw. So give us a call. The phone lines are now open, 410-702-5657, or you can text us at 443-642-9403. We're also live on YouTube, so we're live streaming at this moment, so you can see my bright orange sweater on YouTube Live, as well as Facebook. So if you go to my page, Nate Vashot Blue Cowser, you can go to Talk Lately's page or BeExposed's page, and now on Anthony Shaw's page. And you can find the Facebook Live, and you can chat with us either on YouTube Live or Facebook Live. So join the conversation. Where's I was waiting for what's his name to call in.
Oh, who?
Devon.
Oh, Davon. He's in class right about now. Yeah, he has class he's taking up.
He's taking classes.
Yeah, getting another degree. My our overachieving brother.
I don't like writing. I'm just.
Oh no, he's doing fitness now because he's like he does training at.
But he still has to do some writing. He's
just working on some health and fitness stuff.
Yeah, that health classes are.
And the next I guess I'm trying to think what.
He's supposed to be giving me some pointers, and they never call back. But that's okay, Devon. Let's call you Devon now until I actually hear from you.
Oh, Dad, you gonna shade him like that?
But that's how I do it.
That's how you.
So the next story. Oh, and he hasn't. I see all these cakes on his page, and I haven't gotten a cake either.
Oh, I got some cakes.
No, I haven't gotten any.
But I live around the corner from him, so we have a house.
Yeah,
right
East Side. All right, sorry.
Hey, don't hate.
I'm down the street. I'm in Charles Village.
Another house going up for sale.
Not in Baltimore City. I won't. Sorry, won't do it. But the next story would be, got another story headline.
Oh yeah, the tragic death of Trinity Gay, the daughter of Tyson Gay, was unfortunately murdered over the past weekend with a gunfire exchange. I think they've caught 3 of the suspects so far. I think a father and his son and someone else who were exchanging gunfire. But the only thing I saw about the stories I kind of hate about like celebrity deaths or different things involving celebrity or like a family member is that a lot of the articles always focuses on the celebrity and not the actual person who died. Like I'm sure, since she's very young, is only 15, there's not maybe a lot to her biography per se as her father's, but it would just seem so essentially focused on what he's done in the past and, his Olympic,
because it's all about selling the story. Yeah. So it sounds a lot more interesting if you can attach a name or some notoriety to this individual, which is sad because if you go talk about it,
it's like the baseball player who passed away. I was sure there were other people doing that plane crash, but the main focus is on that celebrity versus everyone else who also tragically lost their lives.
Right. Just like with Tommy Ford, nobody knows anything else about what he's been able to do in these years. It's been over 20 years since that show has gone. No, it's been about 20 years since that show has been off the air, and that's all people can actually talk about is him being Tommy on that show.
It doesn't hurt because his name is Tommy in his first one.
Right, because I wouldn't have did that.
Oh, what? They had the same name as the Asian character. But I remember him in what was it, Class Act with Kid and Play. And
he's been in several things. He's a stand-up comedian. He did a lot of activist work, activism around the community, around the country, actually. So he has a whole heap of things. And which takes me to another point that Tracy brought up on Gangsta Goddess last night. Before he even passed away, people were already saying it.
That he had died.
I can only speak for black people, and I'm not speaking for every black person, but it's just something about black culture that when somebody's sick or something's wrong, you waiting for them to die.
Well, I think that's more internet culture because this happened against white celebrities too, where it's like this person has been reported dead, and they're like, "Well, no, I'm not dead." I think it was Sylvester Stallone or something. They reported he had died.
Celebrities always.
So it's like I think there's more, not even some black community. I think it's more of a internet, social media type thing. It's like someone sees something, and it could be from The Onion, and they take it as truth, even though it's a satire. They don't really investigate and to look at it like
nobody does that anymore.
Like see what this source is from. Like even like news reporters and different politicians have quoted satirical, blogs and articles like The Onion and stuff like that because they're just so busy trying to let's get the fresh hot takes now versus than doing your due diligence and going out there and get that information
the actual story
and saying is this a reliable source. They just say I just want to be first, like someone was people used to put
and
first
it's since social media
but you just want to put it first. I would say it first.
What really made me I read articles now because I have a radio show, but at one time I had stopped reading things like that because I remember and I won't put his name out there, but he works on 92Q, and he had made it was this big hoopla when Will Smith had went on the Tonight Show and he had kissed his son, and his the reporters his tagline was is it gay to kiss your son in the mouth? Like, that's what he wrote as his, like, tagline.
Mhm.
And I felt like, and because I knew him, I felt like that was very irresponsible, because that's what you take from this situation. I could see you attacking a grown man, which is still out of question, but this is a boy, a child, and I think he was probably like 15 or 16 at the time. Like, how do you do that to somebody? Like, even like Jaden's got like death, you know,
threats.
Not even threats, but they've said he was dead, or you know, it's just, I just hate media. Like, I don't watch TV. Like, normally, like, the stuff that I want to watch, I can find it online some way, somehow. I just cannot watch TV anymore. Like, I have to have control over what I watch. I don't want to watch your commercials. I don't want to watch your news.
DVR.
Like, I don't watch the news. I really don't. Like, unless it's a story that's
try to
just
stay informed.
generated and it catches my interest, I'll follow up. But even the news is not news anymore. It's just headlines. Like,
we'll go support
I'm
some
sorry.
independent black media.
You
It's
know,
out there.
I hope that Kim Kardashian is safe and her babies are safe and her family. But she has insurance on that ring.
Yeah.
She good. Next.
I mean, like, no, not even that. In that situation, I do think it's like if anyone else were
Right.
held at gunpoint and robbed, your safety is involved. I think most
Right.
people, you know, I know I get the celebrity culture thing, but I think a lot of people backlash on her because of who she is. And it was like, you might not like her, and that's fine. You don't have to like her,
Right.
but her life was in danger in that situation.
It was,
I'll look
but
at
it shouldn't
differently.
have trumped a presidential election. I'm sorry, it just
But
it shouldn't
when one
have.
of the candidates is a complete and utter buffoon, it's kind of par for the course.
I just really don't like media anymore. That's how
I think it's like you got to separate those different
radio.
types of media. And I guess we got to go take a break. And we'll be back with you guys.
Don't go anywhere.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Monty from Talk Lately. I want y'all to sit back and listen to this flashback. We be tripping.
I mean, really, but I mean, he might have. I got him maybe jacking her up.
The kids said he did it.
But this is Floyd Mayweather punching her head repeatedly, and like she doesn't have like brain damage. Or
No, she didn't have brain damage. I don't think he was hitting her like that. Or he probably was like, say something else. Say something else.
That
he probably wasn't like tagging her.
Right.
He probably was just like, and the kids was like, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy.
Why do they have the accent? Why? Why do his kids have the accent?
I just pictured them looking like African. Oh. I didn't want to have to admit that. I don't know what they're going to do about my mouth, but just check out the show every Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's more of the same right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Talk Lately show. We have our guest co-host for today, Mr. Anthony Shaw, joining us. We're doing some hot topics. We just got off of, what were we talking about?
Dude, we talking about celebrity deaths.
Celebrity deaths.
We were talking
let's
about Kim
get off of that.
Kardashian, the last part of it, though.
I'm just
Not so,
over
as a
that.
celebrity, but just as a victim of, robbery. So,
But okay, so we're using the term victim, but a lot of this is avoidable. And not to say, well, if you didn't wear this or if you didn't do this, this wouldn't happen to you. But it is avoidable.
What, being robbed?
It is avoidable.
I'm like,
one, she had literally, and there was some setup. Somebody knew somebody who got in there that quick. It just was too coincidental how everything went. But if we're in a culture of flaunting everything we have, and every time something happened to us, we got to post it. And for once, Wendy Williams had a brilliant thought in her mind. If you are that person, at least put your life on like a 2-hour to 5-hour delay. So if I just got this ring, I'm not going to talk about it for another 5 hours when I'm not in the location, right? Or 24 hours where I'm not in the same location where I got the good news. Everything does not have to be, in that moment. I have really cut back on what I want to say on social media, because social media to me, first of all, it took me, I can't even remember. I had Facebook maybe 10, 12 years ago. It's been around about that long. The first 5 or 6 years, I never even used my page. I never even used the page. Mm-hmm. Never. I think once I started selling jewelry and stuff like that, it gave me an excuse to be on it. But I never did it. I just could never see myself doing this or being on a computer for hours. It just couldn't be me. But maybe it's just me. But putting your life on a delay.
I can see that point, but I think even in the same vein, she's gonna be a target no matter if she went to the jewelry store. And I understand, like you say, maybe not bringing $3 million worth of jewelry on with you, but the fact that she is a woman of wealth in itself, she's gonna be a target anyway. Even if she had to be there, they have celebrity break-ins where people were waiting for celebrities to leave.
But she's in the hotel room.
Well, no, I'm not just saying that situation. I'm just saying in general, where you could be away from your home and people have gotten burglarized and different things like that. So she's going to be a target, no matter what for criminals.
But even when you're not that person, you still have to have a level of just
self-awareness
about the people around you. You don't have to show everything. And we're in that generation where people got to show you everything that they have.
That's her brand, actually. That's how she's made her money, is by showing everything.
Well, it's time to get another job because you got children now.
But
her children could have been there.
That's what I was worried about. Right, her safety and her kids.
Right, what if the children would have been there? If Kanye was in there, that wouldn't have ended.
Killed, murdered.
Right, that wouldn't have ended good if he was there. It just wouldn't have ended well. And then the children, what would they have done with the children? If they wrapped her up and put her in the bathtub, what do you think they would have did to her babies? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm think in those terms when you're doing things. Even people who are not anywhere near wealthy, rich, you don't have to post everything. This is what I do. I'll go to type it and I'll read it. And nah. And then I wind up erasing it. And that's how I keep from posting stuff on how I really feel about people, because I have a tendency of doing that. And then I tag you in it. No, it ain't off the cuff, because I know exactly what I'm doing. And I'll tag you in it. But I said every thought I have, because everybody isn't praying for me. Everybody isn't, rooting for me. So I can't post everything that I'm feeling, because I saw a meme maybe 2 weeks ago, and the girl she said, it was a post, and she said, Miss, I would not put this on air because I know you have people that are sitting up here eating popcorn, listening to your life unfold, and they're laughing at you. They're not really praying for you, because I thought Facebook should have been an open journal. If you go back maybe 4 years ago, it was an open journal.
I'm fine. If that's how you want to use it, I don't begrudge anyone from using any type of way they want. If you want to put your exploits out there for the world to see, have at it. Just just be willing to deal with the consequences, good or bad.
It's just people want attention, whether for good or bad reasons. It's just a way for people to get attention. And sometimes, not everybody, but it's not smart, because everybody isn't for you. So you giving people your home. I'm out on vacation, so that's letting people know that you're not home. So I can go to your home right now and break in.
Well, there are stories about that. People have done that and followed them with the GPS locations and different things, and found basically your everyday route, and feel okay, you at this place at this time, you go to the gym at this time, and use that to their advantage to break into and burglarize.
It was two young ladies that were smuggling drugs into the country, and they were found out, one, because they were already being followed, but they put their whole vacation,
the whole itinerary on Facebook,
on Instagram, so they could follow them. And they picked them up they got on the airplane, came home. They had millions of dollars worth of cocaine in their suitcases. And they found them because they had posted everything. They were already being followed. But then So you got this lavish vacation.
Well, I'm fine with all the criminals doing stupid stuff, like the people who assault people and then they post it on Facebook. Like, hey, keep doing that because we just want y'all off the streets. Like, you beat people up for no apparent reason, assaulting and robbing them, and you gonna post it, or you stole a car, and then you gonna put it on your GPS like you were here, so the police can find. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with those idiots, entrapping themselves. That sounds good to me. But for the everyday person, like, just be mindful of the things you post on there. Like you said, it's not for everybody, but
it's not. Or really restrict who can actually see your page.
Well, even if that, somebody else could go take someone's phone and look at it from there. Like, even if you're not friends with somebody else, say you got your friend's phone and you're just scrolling through that thing, you do something catch your eye, you can look on it from there. And so nothing on the internet is ever going to be private.
And I don't think I'm a star. But I've done enough shows where people would know me and I don't know them. So once I knew that this was going to be what I wanted, I immediately turned like my social media into like non-personal things. Every now and again, I may have like a picture of me and friends or something that I'm doing, very rarely. But I've learned that because people, if they know, I've had people just approach me and they will say things and I know where they probably know me from, but it's just very uncomfortable. So I can just imagine if your life, everyday life is that, what you get and what you put out there is a clear indication on how people will treat you. Like, and you have to be very mindful. You can't isolate yourself to the point where you have no control over your own life, but you have to be mindful of what you put out there because people think they familiar with you. And now we living in Facebook, so just because you friends on Facebook, then I know
you. Thing like that, you might have an aspect of my personality, but you don't get the full story unless you spend time with me, and you've been around me from some time. Because even if you've known someone for years, you don't know every single thing about that person. No one, you can be married to a person and not know every single thing they've done from their childhood up to that point. Because there's certain things in their lives, it's like you're just not going to be privy to.
And now that, like, my social media pages are, like, it's a very small amount of people that I know personally. And everybody else, I've met them in doing something creative. And a lot of people think I'm funny acting, but when you see me in person, I don't know who you are. And that's a bad habit of mine because you shouldn't be on my page if I don't know who you are. But I've put myself in a place where people can just like my page. So it's nothing that I can personally do. And I'm mindful of that. But I still watch what I say. And I really go through my list now because I hate to be somewhere. Like, I've been in uncomfortable places like that. And somebody thinks that they know you. And you know that they don't know who you really are. Yeah. But they don't know that. And there's a lot of weirdos.
Like a slice of who you are, but that's not the full picture.
I did a play last year where I took my clothes off on stage.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me.
And I live in a very open community.
Active.
Very free. No, it's very free. A lot of hippies, not a lot of weirdos, so on and so forth. And I've had a couple people approach me as if like I was doing a burlesque show or a strip club type. And I'm not saying that those people deserve it either, but I was in a play. Clearly you saw me. I didn't see you. Yeah. So and even in my playbill, I never put my name as it appears on social media in the playbill because that's a direct connection to who you are. You're going to have to find me if you're looking that hard. But it was very uncomfortable the first couple months, after doing that because we did it for about a month and then people would see it and, I know I'm sexy, but I'm just saying it was just uncomfortable.
Well, I think that's like even with the social media thing. I think it's an aspect of celebrity or any type of thing where people get some type of notoriety, and then like if people, I think fans take it to the extreme. Like if I saw someone that I admire, like Bruno Mars or Miguel or somebody like that out on the street,
they're not obligated to you.
They're not obligated to talk to me. I could just like, yeah, I love your music, man. Keep the great work and keep it moving. Versus somebody else is like, you see this person having dinner with their friends or their family, and you want to intrude upon them. They're like, oh, well, I bought your album. Well, then you got what I gave you. What I gave you was the album. That was the product. We had made an even exchange. I provided the music. Yeah. You enjoyed it. You got what you. But it's like to come and invade people's space, and I don't think we're entitled to that as fans. I don't think if I come to
we entitled to you being gracious, not to you just giving yourself to me at your disposal.
But that's in the reason. I look at it in the same way. It's like you're not the first person who's going to approach this person, even that day.
Yeah.
So you got to think like this person, once they reach a certain amount of fame or notoriety, they're going to be bombarded with people over and over and over again, and you don't know what's going on in their personal life. You don't know the other things they have to deal with. So it's like you got to be mindful as a fan to be like, okay, I don't know if this is a good time or not, or just say like, hey, I appreciate your music, I don't want to interrupt you.
But I've seen the flip side of that, because I have a couple friends that are like, I have one friend that's in the NBA, and that's he has become that person, like shades on. No, that's not. And I'm thinking like, you're crazy, because you were begging for this at one time, and I understand once you get it, it's not all what it's cracked up to be. But you at least deserve, like as a fan, to be treated graciously. Like this not the proper time, or I'll sign this, but I'm with my fam. Like I deserve respect or just politeness, not just to be snubbed, because. I'll say it. Like I'm the person that used to say to professors, I'm the reason you're here. Like I'm helping pay your salary. Like I'm that person. Like I'll say that, but don't be disrespectful towards me, because then I'm gonna have to let you know. I'm gonna give you an itemized
Well, I feel like it's in the same thing.
You
have to realize that this is still a human being just like you are, and there's gonna be times that you don't want to be bothered, and there's gonna be times they have good days and bad days. Some days most days they might be like, hey, I want my family, they're cordial, speak to you, to sign some autographs or whatever. But in the same token, it's like they're not obligated to do that. They doing that because they are being kind.
Just like as a person, I'm not obligated to speak to you on the street. Now, I should have good manners and at least speak back to you. Like at least that.
Depends on the person.
But manners are subjective, and they're dependent on that person.
It's called a courtesy for a reason.
It is a courtesy, but you should be courteous.
It's at my discretion, depending on who and what time.
Right, but you should still be that person regardless. So
no one's gonna be like that 24/7.
So we have actually give us a call. The phone lines are now open, 410-702-5657, or you can text us at 443-642-9403. First of all, I'm gonna need for y'all to log off my Facebook page. First of all, because anything is possible. So go into that computer, log off for me, please, sir. Thank you. Just log off for that for me, please. I think it's on the network, so that other computer is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. So we have a text message. I'm
trying to figure out who that is. Like,
rock on, guys.
Thank you.
I don't know. That number does look familiar.
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure. Like, who number is it? But it's Davon.
Whatever, Davon. Where's the cake at, Davon? Where's the cake? So you got the next story?
Oh yeah, I want to piggyback off of that thing you talking about. You say you don't like watching.
We're going to go to commercial. To commercial.
Well, when we get back, we'll be talking about media and the nice explosion of great black television. Even though Nate's not watching anything, which is absurd.
I watch it on YouTube. Sorry.
Come on, the people gotta pay bills just like we do.
But you ain't paying my bills. Thank you. So we'll be right back here on the Talk Lately show with guest co-host Mr. Anthony Shaw. We'll return after this break. Keep the calls coming in, keep the texts coming in, and I want my cake, Davon.
He's not playing. I think he's gonna hold me hostage if he don't get that cake.
I'll follow him home.
You're listening to the station with their ear to the streets. BeExposedRadio.com.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Football, you basically have a good 10 to 12 years, and that's what it is.
Well, you have a lot of people retiring early. It's funny, a lot of me and my alumni from UVA, where I graduated from, one of our fellow Wahoos, he retired yesterday, 32 years old. To Shaw Ferguson, and he's been in the league like 10 or 12 years. So like you said, a lot of guys are making that that changed on their own now because they're seeing a lot of things from the the concussion movement,
right?
Stuff that's been happening. It's not the noun, it's the effects later because you see different stories of men are in like their 50s and some are committing suicide because of the banging and the voices or the concussions. And
did you see that?
I haven't got a chance to see it. But
not the movie, but did you see those effects?
I have seen concussions in college where guys have played that whole entire game and didn't realize they was at a football game.
Wow.
But like before the big emphasis came about whole concussions and what's going on, we was taught you just run to the wall. You can't be soft. You shake it off and get back in it. So
the wrong attitude to have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really internal. Like you really doing damage, not just to your bones,
right,
but to your mind.
Everything. Right. And later on down the line, because just like you said, once the game is over, when you've been in a game and you think about it, because I tell people the NFL, any sports, whether it's male or female, is a semi-military because you're told when to get up, when to work out, what to eat, when to play. All right, now you got a curfew, you got to be in the bed by this time. You do it for years and years, and all of a sudden, bam, it's done. So what do you do?
Right.
So just like in a military to have with PTSD. We have that because we so used to having a certain way. And I remember watching this Brian Gumbel on HBO, it was like years ago, and a guy would act like he was getting dressed, a real good football player, would walk his daughter to the bus stop, and he would come back in the house, close the curtains, and just sit there because he didn't know how else to handle himself because he was so used to being told what to do because our schedule are laid out. By this time, you got to do this. By this time, you got to do this. Eat at this time, back on the field. So,
hey, what's up? This is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live, here live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? I keep on saying my Facebook notifications pop up. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Artist Exchange, to Talk Lately, the Talk Lately radio show, normally hosted by Monty, but Monty's on a brief hiatus. We're back here with guest co-host, Mr. Anthony Shaw.
Hey.
We're doing a day of hot topics and such, and we just heard back from Davon. He tells us to rock on, guys.
Thanks, brother.
I have nothing about my cake. I just keep, like, every now and again, he's taking the cake somewhere, like, to work, to some type of party, and it'd be pound cake, and I like pound cake.
Oh. I was going to ask you, do you want me to get you something from Patisserie Poupon?
That sounds real gourmet.
It is. It's really good, too. It's right up the street.
I don't know.
They got great cookies, great pastries.
They got brownies?
Yeah, they got brownies. Oh, the brownies. Oh, okay.
I don't want your brownies, but we're back here.
What's wrong with my brownies?
Yeah.
They not my brownies. They Tay brownies.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're back to the next story. I think we were going to talk about the explosion of black TV.
Yeah, it's a great time for black TV. Like you have Blackish.
Really?
Yeah, it's really it's all types of black shows, which I really, really like because it's not one stereotypical thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a variety of different things. You have Queen Sugar, you got Greenleaf, you have Blackish. You have other people. Issa Rae's new show, which was really, really good. There's only 2 episodes in so far. Atlanta by Donald Glover, amazing show, especially the last episode, BAN, which I'm not sure what it stands for, but I had a associate of mine, a friend of my sister's, and he used that acronym. And it was Black Ass Nigga, so that made me in my mind. That's what I went to for BAN.
There was he did some clip on YouTube. I don't know if it was like a part of the show or just a random clip he did, but they were supposed to, I think they were in jail, and he was sitting in between this like transsexual and this.
Yeah, that's part of the show. That was one of the, I think the first or second episode.
Yeah, and it was very funny. To me, it was hilarious to me. I would have laughed out loud if I watched the whole thing. But some of those things, I can't really get into the story. Like, I'll watch them at the end of the season where I can watch them all together. I'm not a good person at, like, following a series, and I got to be there every Thursday.
Oh, that's why DVRs are great, because you don't have to. You can just record it.
A lot of
like
what I watch on Hulu and Netflix.
The same thing,
YouTube.
same token. Like, I'll never think, talk about Netflix. Luke Cage. Amazing TV series for on the Marvel franchise for Netflix. They've had Daredevil, Jessica Jones, which I wasn't really crazy about, but Luke Cage, I loved it. I loved it from beginning to the end. I thought it was really exciting. Have a black superhero who's bulletproof, especially during this time and age, getting all the deaths of black men and women from law enforcement. So it's very speaking to this time. But it's like those type of things. It's not just one facet of black TV. It's a variety of different things that I say. Like, if you're like, I'm not a Tyler Perry fan, but Tyler Perry fans, they have plenty of shows for them to watch. So people can stop complaining and saying, oh, we only have Medea or certain things. It's like,
well, it still has to go.
We have a lot of different things you can get into.
And
it's
now that we are now taking control over a lot of those shows creatively, now we need to start telling stories with actual human beings in them.
Well, these are.
Well, I'm saying it has to go beyond that, because even me being an actor, there's still a lot of people that look like me that won't give me a chance. And that's the part where it has to expand a little bit more, because other races are not afraid to put people into roles where they're not the stereotypical leading character, or they don't fit a specific image. Like in a Tyler Perry movie, I am not tall enough, I am not sexy enough, I am not XYZ enough, but in certain other white counterpart shows that are comparable to a Tyler Perry, they would put some, and not just him. I don't want to just throw him under the bus, but
I think that's just a Hollywood thing. There's always gonna be that idea of an aesthetic, which is, as far as like where women face ageism, where men don't really have to face that issue. It's like you could be old as dirt, you could be Harrison Ford or Sylvester Stallone or Robert De Niro, and they still say you're sexy, even though to me you just an old ass white dude.
well, but and I'll say women, other cultures.
Yeah, but for the women,
that happens.
Yeah, but for the women, it's like, oh God, she hit 40, get rid of her.
Not for white women.
Yeah, yes, it is for white women.
Not for
a
white women.
A lot of white women still don't give a, unless you have some really peak.
I see a lot of white women on TV. I see a lot of white.
It's like, I'm not saying there aren't white people on TV, but I'm saying most of the times when you get to a certain point, they like look at Spider-Man. Like the Aunt May has gotten younger and younger with every iteration of Spider-Man. Right. So it's like she was supposed to be an older woman. Now she like 30. Right. Come on now.
But I see that. But then I see the Meryl Streeps and the I can't even think of all their names because I don't really follow them.
Like Vanessa Redgrave and Helen Mirren.
Exactly.
But it's still limited roles. It's not as. It's still is not as in comparison to the men. Like
maybe on TV, but now even on TV,
even movies like those, they can make, and those men can make flop after flop after flop.
I'm sorry, I still see these white women making movies. I'm not saying they're not out there, but it's like
they have been household names. And the same token, it does bar entry for newer young people or older women who might have been in the game too. They don't get that in limelight or get that role. They say, okay, this role might be good, but I'll say, let's get Meryl Streep for it. But I'm sure there's plenty of older white women who could still play the role just as well. But I'm
in somebody like I don't just ignore anything, but I see more variety in other cultures on TV, film, and movies and such. I see more variety, and I see people not being afraid to put certain types of people in the limelight when they're other cultures. But when it's ours, specifically when we're doing things, we don't do that. We're very narrow-minded. So we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here on the Talk Lately radio show with guest co-host Anthony Shaw when we return after this break. Don't go anywhere.
No, it's good.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Only in the forest can you see this. And this.
and this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
I didn't know it could do that!
Because one trip to the forest can spark a world of difference.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, canoeing, fishing, or camping. Or create your own adventure with family and friends, and you might just see this. Your moment's out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
This forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Jan! Steven! What is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby.
You think about it. You don't do anything but think about it.
What are we going to do if we lose the house? Where are we going to go?
At work.
I can't let anybody find out. I'm so embarrassed.
At dinner.
How can I tell the kids? It's going to wreck their lives.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get through this. What's going to happen to us?
It's time to stop thinking. It's time to start dialing. Call 1-888-995-HOPE for a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options.
I'm all alone.
No, you're not. We've helped over 1 million homeowners, and we want to help you. And now there are more ways to help. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. Yeah, you know, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these are her exact words. Allegedly.
I made this up. But
allegedly.
I made it all up. But there was a rumor that they were beefing. But Tyler confirms that they don't have any issues. So it says it was recently reported on the rumors that was swirling that the twosome were on the outs over constructive criticism of a Perry show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, and we can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on have and have-nots to be like 5% shorter, each one. I want you to watch an episode of The Young and the Restless, because this is supposed to be a soap opera. No one's dialogue on The Young and the Restless is...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
To the Talk Lately radio show. I am Nate. I am sidelining today with our guest co-host for today, Mr. Anthony Shaw. The telephone lines are now open. Give us a call at 410-702-5657 or text us at 443-642-9403. Don't forget to check out our website at www.beexposedradio.com, or you can go to our YouTube page And check out all of our old episodes if you missed any Talk Lately shows or the Artist Exchange show. And coming up next is Shots and Shenanigans with Mr. True Indeed and Femi, the Drifish, on the Shots and Shenanigans. I think they're going to have shots today. I would hope that they would have shots because the show is called Shots and Shenanigans. But
not the shenanigans.
Yes. I don't care about the shenanigans. I just want maybe a cake shot or something. But we'll be they'll be joining us at 9 o'clock right following this show, so stay tuned for that. Also, I think I shouldn't announce that. But we'll get back into the discussion. We were talking during the break about the Michelet movie, Surviving Compton.
Yeah,
I believe it's a really good movie. I sit at a computer and watch the whole thing, so I know it was pretty good because my attention span is horrible. But that's why I don't watch TV anymore because there's really no point. I have to binge watch. Like I can sit in the house on a Sunday and just watch like a whole season of something.
No, I've finally seen the NWA movie. It was probably like after a year after it released, and it was on HBO.
I wanted to see that.
I was going to go to the movies and see it, but I didn't get a chance to. Yeah, it's been like, I guess, it was probably a year after it was released. It was on HBO.
I'm sure it's good. It's got a lot of critical
entertaining. It was
acclaim.
good, but I thought like the fact that they left her out of it was kind of telling, and the whole incident with Dr. Dre and D. Bonds. You know,
he needs to get over it, and she's going to continue to talk until he apologizes, and as she should. Now she's going to make money off the fact that you didn't apologize. Yeah. So just apologize. And I'm not a person that's going to say guilty or innocent because I wasn't there. But if what she says, and in a lot of those scenes, there were other people around that should have said something. One being, I didn't know her best friend was Tashina Arnold.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she's her best friend in the movie. There was a scene where at a party she said something to him and he gut punched her in front of Tashina Arnold. Damn. And I'm not saying Tashina Arnold could have sucker punched them or something, but they were at a huge party.
But I think a lot of people are like that. Sometimes it's like they don't know what to do, don't know what to act, how to respond to that type of violence.
I'm not that person, and I know I'm not. I'm not that person. I've stopped stuff on the streets before because I've had family members that have been abused. And often for me, I've seen both sides of the coins. I've seen women who antagonize men to the point where that man doesn't want to hit her back because he doesn't want to get in trouble. And when the police gets there, they lie. Right, so I've seen both sides of the coin, but I don't believe anybody deserves to be hit. And I've had very close family members who have had to deal with that. I'm that person that says something. I'm the person that says something when you hitting your child inappropriately. I'm that person.
Well, I was reading an article about the whole thing of Michelet was that this on an article from Very Smart Brothers, one of my favorite sites on the internet. Go check it out if you have a chance. And the guy, he was doing a review about the movie, and he sounded like it was, a really well-made movie.
It was like the TV version of What's Love Got to Do with It. If they would have made that into a TV movie, this is what it would have looked like.
But my thing is, like, the fact that Dr. Dre still hasn't really come to terms with it. I think, to me, the fact that he hasn't apologized and the fact that he hasn't really addressed this issue shows a lack of growth in a way, which could have been a good part of the storyline for Straight Outta Compton, was like, hey, I did these messed up things when I was younger, but I've become a better person. It's not too late for anybody to change and move on and grow as a man or a woman.
Not as a spoiler, but if you have not seen the video, like the very first time that we see him hit her, and I'm quite sure a lot of stuff was edited out, but the very first time she harps on the fact that most of the times he hit her, he was drunk. He had a really bad drinking problem. And it felt like she was trying to lay on that he was covering up some other stuff. But he had a drinking problem. The very first time we see him hit her is he comes in the house stumbling drunk and he beats her. And this movie is eerily similar to What's Love Got to Do with It in many different accounts. And I'm not a person that jumps to guilt anybody, but if a lot of the times, like in What's Love Got to Do with It, it was just the two of them, and people knew it was happening or heard it happening. And this one, there was a lot of people were there, and it was enough people that would then jump in. And it wasn't just him, but she showed the kind of the mental abuse that Suge Knight inflicted on her. And we see the transition between how Suge Knight even was able to come at her. It was because she was being battered and beaten by this man. It's one thing where he's gone for a couple weeks and the lights get turned off. She don't have any cars. And Suge Knight is the person that comes and turns the lights on and brings her food. And if you're in this situation, anything looks better than that. Yeah. And that's how...
Because that's when she had his son, Dre's son. They have a son child, Marcel, together. And I was like, part of I was reading, like, an article was saying that basically... I guess she was raised partly by her grandmother at a certain time, and her grandmother had this mindset of, a man doesn't love you if he doesn't hit you. So
it was more like he
beat you.
Right, like if she really reflected on her. If you really love him, then you'll deal with that, and that's what
her mindset was coming from. Even though she had a better life, she wasn't abused like when younger, but she still had that, that kind of implanted in her mind as a young girl.
And you see that even the grandmother over the course of the movie kind of changes a lot, and that she really didn't see how physical it was. And again, a lot of stuff was probably let out, so she probably saw more than we know she saw from the movie.
Still know about it.
But it is strange. It's very strange, the type of or the lack of protection that we give to children or people in general, and just the level of support. Because I was shocked that Tashina Arnold was her friend. As loud as she is and boisterous as she is, nobody ever said anything. Like, nobody ever called the police for her. Nobody ever extended anything for her, because the claim now is she never made any claims.
Oh, so she never told anybody.
She never went to any authorities or filed any charges. So that is his counteract against her. Not to mention her nose been broke twice, like things like that. They show when Suge supposedly only hit her once, and they show that in the movie, and he like basically tells her, like, if you tell, I'm gonna kill you.
Well, that's a lot of women fear. That's why a lot of women don't leave their abusers, because they're more likely to be killed or murdered after they actually leave than they are if they just stay there.
And the young lady, her name escapes me right now, but the young lady that plays Michelle is really good. I don't think she didn't have all the characteristics of her, but she really did a good job. And this one was different because Michelle played the narrator, so you didn't just hear her voice, but you see her. Like, she'll literally come into scenes as it's happening or as it's coming down from the scene, and she's talking and she's explaining things. So it's really
more in depth.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good, and you see her in it. So I think you've been hearing these stories for the last couple of years, and apparently everybody knew, because people would call them the Ike and Tina Turner of hip hop.
Yeah, I don't think it was it was pretty much an open, thing that people pretty much knew about it. But it was one of those things like, kind of swept under the rug. He's maintained a level of success, so people kind of let it slide, or you still want to work with Dr. Dre because he's one of the, amazing producers. So, so
but it was the people around him though. Like that was the part that got, like, if any of this is true, the Ice Cubes and the Eazy-E's, the Tupac, all of them saw this happening and said nothing. Because like they never tried to get him off of them, but this is somebody she was a member of your group. Yeah. Like, even though they were in a relationship.
Some people might feel like, hey, we tried to help, we tried to intervene. If she's going to stay there, then what else can we do?
But she said they didn't do any of that.
Oh, wow.
Like, nobody ever. She said people would say to her, like, why do you do this? And for her, like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Like, he's just going to find me. Like, every time she would try to leave, he would bring her back. Like, so it was one of those
endless cycles.
Right, those cycle relationships. And it was crazy because these thugs, if you will, like, and they would self-proclaim this. None of them protected, like, her. They talked about violence against black men, but they never protected her. Like, that was the strange part for me.
Not really, because it's still like even though like you could be a part of a marginalized group like black people, but say it still feel like far as men still invest in misogyny. And saying like that she's supposed to stay in a woman's place. That's that's their problem. It's a private issue. Even though some of them might have been subjected to the same type of abuse growing up, but their mothers were beat on or certain things. So for them, it might even be a thing like, well, that's just how normal relationships, in their mind, that's how they go.
And in the movie, that's what it starts out with, us seeing somebody else get beat right in front of her, outside in front of everybody, and nobody says anything. Everybody's just shocked and appalled, but I just could not be that person. Like, I watched it as a child, and as a grown man, I could not. You could kill me in the process, but for me, I can't let you beat on another person. Like, that's just not something I can see myself doing.
Well, that's good, because a lot of people do not feel the same way, and they'll turn a blind eye to it. Because, well, I don't know how much I want to say this out on the air, but I suspected one of my neighbors of being in a domestic violence thing, and it was like that type of thing. She's like, you don't know when to intervene because you don't want to falsely accuse somebody.
I'd rather have you mad at me right now than to find you or see you coming out of the house in a body bag or something. And that type of abuse, and people say that's extreme, but it leads to that. Yeah. It really does. I remember I used to live off of Garrison, and the man next to me, he used to beat his wife down. Like, you would hear her screaming. And one day I was like, I couldn't do it anymore. One, because that used to be his mother's house. And then he moved in after his mother passed away. And you would just see, like, she was such a nice lady. And I don't know what the arguments were. It doesn't really matter. But I remember getting into an argument with my friend that I was living with because I called the police. Like, one, I don't want to hear this night after night during the daytime. I don't want to hear this. Secondly, like, somebody has to do something. Now, that lady, and crazy enough, I saw them maybe like 2 years ago, and they were still together. Now, I don't know what changed, but I know for a minute, I had moved out of the house and moved to the next block. And whenever I would walk by, she did not speak to me. I don't know whether she was told not to speak to me. And he was always agitated at me because I stood outside when I told the police to come to my house. And when they came to my house, I directed them over there. And he was very angry, like, the day of. But I guess she didn't say anything.
More often than not.
I would rather have you mad at me and have my conscience cleared than to continue to let something like that. Because that is craziness. To keep hearing that cycle, like hearing somebody screaming and hollering. Because I had a grandmother that was bad, and I wish somebody would have stepped in and did something. And, I saw people not do anything. And as a child, you feel like, well, what can I do? And I said, when I become an adult, I'll never let something like that happen. Because it does something to you. You feel weak. And
you feel
watching that. Right, you feel powerless at watching something like that happen. And it's strange that people just don't do anything. And watching this movie, you just see everybody shocked and appalled and even mad. Because I think Eazy-E was the only one that ever said something to him in a movie. Like, come on, man, what you doing? Like, you ain't got to do this.
He did say something straight out of context.
Yeah, like, but did he allude to that, or?
It was kind of alluded to in the movie. I think it was like a comment that he had made about Dre. They didn't go into, like, what happened with D. Barnes or Michelle A. at all. But it was kind of alluded to in one of Eazy's comments during the movie.
See, that's crazy because D. Barnes is supposed to be the, was he either the security guard or?
No, she was like a writer and a hip hop, like a
D. Barnes. I'm thinking about the security guard, but
she was assaulted at a club and stuff in the bathroom where he like pushes the door into her and like stomps her. And the case is basically settled out of court for...
And he apologized to her.
Well, from what I read and heard, not really. But it was like...
he apologized, like, in the last
not in a very, one of those basically half ass apologies.
Well,
like,
it was
like I'm
still,
like if you do something like, oh, I'm sorry if I offended anyone.
But that was only after R&B Divas came out and they started talking about it, and he apologized.
But that was how long ago?
Right. But that was like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
That incident was back in the 90s and stuff.
No, but I'm just saying, but that's all Michelle A wanted. If he would have did that, I don't even if they would have left her out of the movie. If he would have not even, I don't think publicly. If he probably would have personally apologized to her, we probably wouldn't even have seen this movie.
It's kind of sad, even if that situation, since she was there pretty much from onset along part of the whole storyline, the fact that she was left out.
But he's done interviews where he's basically saying like, I ain't really feel it like that. But people don't realize they were together for like 9 or 10 years. So it wasn't like, but she's even said like even within that 9 or 10 years, there were times where they had separated and like she said he had 5 children. When like I think he had like 3 children when he met her, and then he had another one, two when they first started dating. Like,
oh wow! And
they were like back to back children, and then he had another child while they were together. Like, it's like it's hard not to call him anything. But we'll be right back here on the Talk Lately show with guest co-host Mr. Anthony Shaw when we return. Don't forget to go to our website www.BeExposedradio.com. Give us a call. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Football, you basically have a good 10 to 12 years, and that's what it is.
When you have a lot of people retiring early, it's funny. A lot of me and my alumni from UVA, where I graduated from, one of our fellow Wahoos, he retired yesterday, 32 years old. To Shaw Ferguson, and he's been in the league like 10 or 12 years. So like you said, a lot of guys are making that change on their own now, because they're seeing a lot of things from the the concussion movement,
right?
Stuff that's been happening. It's not the noun, it's the effects later, because you see different stories of men are in like their 50s and somehow committed suicide because of the banging and the voices or the concussions. And
did you see that?
I haven't got a chance to see it. But
not the movie, but did you see those effects?
I have seen concussions in college where guys have played that whole entire game and didn't realize they was at a football game.
Wow.
But like before the big emphasis came about whole concussions and what's going on, we was taught you just run to the wall. You can't be soft. You shake it off and get back in it. So
the wrong attitude to have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really internal. Like you really doing damage, not just to your bones,
right,
but to your mind.
Everything. Right. And later on down the line, because just like you said, once the game is over, when you've been in a game and you think about it, because I tell people the NFL, any sports, whether it's male or female, is a semi-military, because you're told when to get up, when to work out, what to eat, when to play. All right, now you got a curfew, you got to be in the bed by this time.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Talk Lately radio show. Normally hosted by Monty, but he's on his hiatus. He's probably somewhere right now listening, snacking, watching something on TV of some sorts. I just want him to call in. That's probably him calling. But we have guest co-hosting with us, Mr. Anthony Shaw. He's done an awesome job. So if you want him to come back, call us. Let us know.
Yeah, please be kind. This is my first time
Go ahead.
filling in and everything. So it's been fun.
It's fun to just talk about random things while people watch you.
Oh.
So the telephone
I keep forgetting
line,
people are watching.
Yeah, they are. 410-702-5657. Or you can text us at 443-642-9403. We're waiting. We got a couple more minutes. Joining us, following this show will be Shots and Shenanigans with True Indeed and
So do they bring
Femi the
liquor?
Drifish. They didn't have liquor the first time. So
That's
this
messed
second
up.
show.
So when I made that Shenanigans thing, I was talking about it as part in from Kendrick Lamar's first album when they talk about Shenanigans. So I'm thinking they talking about some angel dust or something like that. That's what you said. Shenanigans.
You
I was
know,
like, what?
Femi is a bunch of shenanigans.
Okay.
He has a wicked sense of humor. He's crazy.
Oh,
but they'll be joining us, following the show after Talk Lately. But I don't know, we got a couple more minutes.
I know. Trying to figure out what to talk about.
I have a question game.
Okay, let's do that. Or we could do what is it? Murray. What is it?
No, I don't play that game. That's
Well, you know the game I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't do that.
Murray, Shag, or Kill.
I don't do that. I don't play no games. So I
can just
forgot
play
the
it.
other sheet. So you have to pick a number between 16 and 36.
Give me 24.
24. This is crazy. How do you feel about your relationship with your mother?
Oh, I have a good and healthy relationship with moms. We're really close. I'm mama's boy. I'm complete.
Oh boy.
I'm spoiled to no end. Me and my brother. You would think we were both only child.
How old is your brother now?
He'll be 31 on the 29th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all some old ass people.
I know.
Yeah,
You older than me.
Not really. What's the next number between 16 and 36?
29.
29. Oh, there is no. Oh, it is. Oh, wow. So you have to share my most embarrassing moment in life?
I don't think I know any of your most embarrassing moments in life. That I can think of. All the mines come to a head, so we can skip that one because I'm not telling anyone one of mine at all.
I'll tell mine.
All
the
right, what
most,
is it?
and I don't think it was really embarrassing, but it was really outside of who I was. It was a Christmas party we had a long time ago that I still get in trouble for because somebody had just bought me a leather living room set. Mm-hmm. And when I came home from the party, of course I had a little too much to drink.
What's wrong with that?
It was for me because I'm not really a drinker. I'm really not. Like, I don't know why I was doing. I think, again, to hang around the people that I was hanging around, it made it comfortable. So, anyway, moving forward. I came in the house, and I remember my aunt opened up the door. I had family over for Christmas. And I had went out and left family in the house. And when I came in, it probably was like 3-something in the morning. And I knocked on the door. I didn't have a coat on, and I had, I think, Nene slippers on, or Tony slippers or something like that. I really did. I don't even remember getting that coat back. Really, That's crazy. The crazy part. But she said I didn't have a coat on, and I had on slippers. And when I saw what I had on, I was like, "This not even my damn slippers." So. Apparently, she went back into to get somebody, and she said when she came back, I think she went to go get her boyfriend to help me get up because I had fell over on the couch, and I guess it was like a lot of gifts and stuff that was on the floor. She said in the time it took her to go get her boyfriend and come back, I had threw up all over this couch.
Damn.
Now, it was a leather couch with liquor coming up. So when I woke up, crazy enough, before I even woke up the next morning, probably about 5 or 6, it was like I was thirsty. So this is Christmas Eve. My mother had came, she was cooking. The whole refrigerator was filled with food. So it was nothing to drink in the house. all I saw was a bottle of applesauce. And she was like, I drowned a bottle of applesauce. So for Christmas that year, I had just moved into the house. So I had got a living room set. I had got a bedroom set as a gift. I threw up on both. Both were, I just took the plastic off of the bedroom set, off the mattress. I woke up and I had vomit on the side of my face. And it was applesauce because I could tell the text, so it came back up. And I had not eaten anything. I think we were drinking a lot at the party. I don't even remember parts of that party. I really don't, honestly. I just remember saying believe a lot. That's all I still remember. And when I got up the next morning, there was a smell in the living room. And I had stained applesauce stains, and it I know now it stained my mattress. So even in me steam cleaning it, the smell, it took forever for it to go away. Like I had to flip the mattress because you could still smell it. The living room set was demolished. That whole it was a sectional.
Oh, so that's.
I had to get it professionally cleaned, which cost me damn near as much as the set itself. So that was the most embarrassing moment. And then I woke up, I had no hangover, nothing. And that was the worst moment of my life.
That's hilarious.
One of them, but definitely at the top.
We got like 50 seconds left. Let's do one more. 19.
19. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are now living, and why?
Well, I don't know, because I spend a lot of time with my family and friends. Well, I'll probably spend more time with my friends.
Not with me, though. It's the most I've seen.
Shut the hell up.
That's an abusive relationship.
So I don't know. I think I would be more active. Like I would definitely travel. I would like screw my job and just travel as much like for the first 6 months, and then.
So if you're listening, job, he cares nothing about you.
Pretty much, they already know that.
But this has been the Talk Lately show. Hopefully, Anthony is not afraid. He may come back next week. Following the show is Shots and Shenanigans. So apparently, they may have shots of some sort. I saw him in the lounge. So again, that's me and Anthony. We'll be back next week on the Talk Lately show. Thanks, Eric.
All right. See you next week.
You're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Talk dirty to me. I love it. It's awesome. It's all mine. Gets me going every day.